So in this video, we're going to be looking at the parabola and a straight line. Okay, so the parabola given its k of x and its equation is known, but the given straight line, it's h of x and its equation is unknown. And the straight line is passing through B and C. You can see here that the straight line is passing through there and there. And also the parabola is passing through those 2 points as well. So B and C, we call them points of intersection. We call them points of intersection. Those are the points where the two graphs are equal. Okay, perfect. Now let's look at the parabola. I'm going to try to find everything that I can on the parabola. Before I even answer the questions, I always try to see what can I get on whatever is known. So the graph that is known in this case is the k of x, which is the parabola. And always for the parabola, you must be able to get the turning point. You must be able to get the x-intercept. You must be able to get the y-intercept. You must be able to get domain and range. Okay, so for the parabola, the 5 basic things that you always need to know how to do, né? It's TP. Let's start with finding the turning point. Né? TP. So I'm not going to follow the questions. We'll come to the questions later on. Let's just find everything that I'm expecting you to be knowing by now if you have watched all the videos in the playlist from the beginning up until now. Okay, so turning point. So we're going to firstly do the x value on the turning point, which is given by negative b over 2a. Right, and we can see that, okay, my a from here is -1, my b is 3, and then my c is 10. Right, perfect. Now let's substitute here. So I'm going to have negative, my b is 3 all over 2, my a is -1. Right, I can see that my x value on the turning point is 3 over 2. Right, and ladies and gents, you do not you do not use decimals when you are finding these things. Ne? The only time you're going to use decimals if you are trying to sketch a graph. In this case, the graph is already given. So no sketching of what? I mean, no using of decimal points. Perfect. So now I'm going to try to find the y value. So I'm going to substitute the x value into the k function. So k input the x value that we got, and then we can see that, okay, this side we're going to have minus in bracket 3 over 2 squared plus 3 into bracket 3 over 2 plus 10. Then let's check what does that give us on our calculator. So we have negative bracket 3 over 2 squared plus 3 into bracket 3 over 2 plus 10. And this gives us 49 over 4. Right. Perfect. Okay. And then we can now see that, okay, our y value in the turning point is 49 over 4, and our x value is 3 over 2. So, and then we are told that D is the what? Is the turning point there. You see. So I already know my values here is going to be the x value first, remember, and then coordinate the y value of 49 over 4. And then I am now sorted with my turning point. Perfect. And then I can erase here because I have my answer written down. Okay. Now I need to do the y-intercept. Ne? The y-intercept, remember, for y-int, you always make x equals to 0. Right. So basically, we're looking for k when we substitute x0. And we can see that we're going to get -0 squared plus 3, 0 plus 10. which will simply give us 10. And we can see that, okay, 10 is our y value, x is our x, x is equals to 0, right? So what we're going to do then, we're going to write this on our graph. Ne? Remember, y-intercept basically is where the graph crosses with the y-axis. In this case, C is our y-intercept. So we can tell that, okay, C is going to be 0, coordinating with 10, right? Perfect. And then we can erase and do x-intercept now. Let's do our x-intercept. So on x-intercept, remember x-intercept, we know that y value must be 0, right? So in this case, remember k of x is basically another way to represent a y value. So k of x must be 0. But k of x is basically minus x squared plus 3x plus 10 equals to 0, right? And then when we are here, you can either use a quadratic formula, or you can just factorize this trinomial because it's a rational trinomial. Ne? It's not going to give you a rational solution, this one. So before I factorize, I need to switch all the signs because the x squared part must be positive. So I have x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals to 0. And then I'm making two brackets equals to 0. It's x and x. If you need to revise factorizing of trinomials, please check the playlist of grade 10 videos under algebra. You're going to get a bunch of videos on factorizing trinomials. Right, perfect. So this is what is going to happen. If you have a minus at the end, the signs are always opposite, so it's a plus and a minus. So I'm going to break 10 into 5 and 2. The bigger one takes the sign of the middle, so the middle is negative. Put negative there, then there I have 2. Right. And to check yourself, guys, just you can foil it quick, like you can multiply the brackets quickly, like simplify them. Ne? Your solution must be exactly that. If you don't get that, you know that you didn't do it properly. Perfect. And then therefore, x will be equals to 2, negative 2, or x equals to 5. Right. These are the two x-intercepts of the parabola. Ne? Then now you can go to the graph. Let's go to the graph. So I know that, okay, here I'm going to put something. The y value was 0. Also on B is the x-intercept. You can see it crossing there. And here they're all crossing the x-axis there. So I know that, okay, here I'm going to put this and 0. Right. But I see that, okay, A is on the negative side, or A is the smallest one because it's on the left. So the smallest one is negative 2. Then you put negative 2 there. Then B is the bigger one since it's on the right, which is 5. So A and B are your x-intercepts. Perfect. I'm sure, ladies and gents, you can see something exciting now. We found point B and C, which are the points of the straight line, which means if the question asks us to get the equation of the straight line, we can easily get it now. Does that make sense? Perfect. Okay. So now let's see. I found all the 4 points. I need to do the domain and the range of the parabola. Ne? The domain and the range of the parabola. Okay. Domain and range of k of x. Okay, sure. So domain of k of x. The parabola, the domain is always x elements of real. Ne? Just say x elements, real numbers, and then the range of the parabola. The range of the parabola, you're going to always write your y and the turning point. So the y value on the turning point is 49/4, right? And then you check if the graph is going up or down. The graph in this case is going down, right? Which means if the graph is going down, it means the turning point is the biggest because the graph is decreasing. So which means the y values are going to be smaller or equals to that one. Does make sense? So it means this one is the biggest. 49/4 is bigger or equals to y because the graph is going down. If the graph is going up, you are just going to say whatever the y value in the turning point will be the smallest, because we'll be increasing now. That makes sense. Perfect. Then there's this question that many learners never really get, but it's very easy. Ne? Axis of symmetry of k of x. Parabola also have axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. Sharp. Axis of symmetry. Let me just use a ruler to explain this properly. Why I'm saying it's going to be what I'm gonna say it is. Ne? So let's go to the turning point. Remember, this line, this dotted line here, right? It's line x equals to 3/2. So which means even here, I'm going to have 3/2. I just don't know the y value on f, right? On E, I'm going to have the x value as 3/2, and then the y value will be 0 because we are on the x-axis. E is also the x-intercept. Do you see it? Sharp. So the lines that goes up and down, which is a vertical line, it is very, very important to know that the x value does not change on the points that are on that line. Ne? The x value does not change. What will change is the y values because we are going up and down. Okay, perfect. So the reason why we call this line x equals to 0, x equals to, 3/2, which is x on TP basically, the axis of symmetry, is because it divides the graph into two parts. You see this part, which is an exact mirror image of this part here, you see? So if the question asks you for the axis of symmetry and the graph that they're talking about is the parabola, they are just indirectly asking you to get negative b/2a, or simply the x value in the turning point. I'm sure that makes sense. We can move on now. Okay, so I found a lot of things. On the domain, the range, I found the axis of symmetry, and I found everything for the parabola, basically. So now I can go to the questions, right? Sure. So the questions, I'm going to use a different color. Let's choose something. I feel like orange. I'll just pick orange. Sure. So they want us to determine the length of AO. Okay, let's see. AO will be equals to from A to O. Remember, O means origin. So from 0 to there, okay? So guys, when you do the length, and for vertical and horizontal lines, there's no need for distance formula. Never ever use distance formula. You only use distance formula for slanted or diagonal lines like this. You can use a distance formula for that and that. But if a line is like this, horizontal, and this, you never need to use distance formula. Perfect. So here you just take, remember origin is 0 and 0, right? Sure. You take the biggest, if you are moving this way, you're looking at the x values. Ne? If you are going up and down, you're looking at the y values. Perfect. So here, the biggest x is 0, and then you're going to minus by the smaller one, which is -2. So your answer will be 2 units. So the distance of AO is 2 units. Okay? Then the distance of OB. Okay, OB. B is there, the biggest x value is 5. And then minus the smallest, which is 0. So the answer will be 5 units. Then they want OC. Okay? OC will be the highest. Remember, now we're going up and down. So you take the highest y value minus by the smallest. Ne? So it's going to be 10 minus 0, which is 10 units. Okay, so I got that. Now they need the distance between D and E. The distance between D and E will be the y value on D minus by the y value on E. So DE is basically 49/4 minus 0, which will just be 49/4 units. Perfect. And then we are done with finding the solutions for question A, right? We answered question A. Now let's go to B. Okay. So for B, let me just erase these things. I'll just erase here. I'll just leave whatever I need. So let's see this side. Okay, this side I need everything. Sharp. So now they say determine the equation of DE. DE, they will never tell you that DE is a straight line. They expect you to see that D and E is a what? It's a straight line. And then D and E, it's a vertical line, basically. It's a vertical line, which means the x value doesn't change. So the answer here will just be x equals to 3/2. Right, it's this vertical line here. It's the axis of symmetry of the parabola. Do you see it? This one. Perfect. Now let's go to C. They want the equation of h of x. H of x is also a straight line, but this is a slanted straight line. So a slanted straight line, we always use y equals to mx plus c. Okay. So firstly, I need to find the gradient. I firstly need to find the gradient of this function. Oh, sorry about that. Let's do this. Okay, sharp. So we need m. Remember, m will be basically the gradient, right? This m. We need to find this and that, sharp. But it's always advisable to start by finding the m, sharp. So now, I need 2 points to get m. I see that, okay, C lies on H, and also B lies on H, and F lies on H. But the only issue with F is I don't know the y value, so I cannot use F. I'm forced to use B and C. So I'll say, okay, since I'm using B on C, I'll take y on B minus by y on C divided by x on B minus x on C. And I'm sure you've seen that they are aligned. If you started with a B there at the bottom, you must start with a B as well. Okay. And then this now becomes, if you see y on B, it's 0 minus 10, which is y on C, over 5 minus 0. You can see that the answer is -2. Right. That is perfect. So the m is -2. So we're going to have, therefore, y equals to, where there was m, we replace with -2, x, and then plus c, right? Perfect. And then to get c is simple, ladies and gents. You can take this point and sub in here, or this point and sub in there. But I'm going to take b in this case. If you take c, the answer is going to be the same. So remember, a coordinate is always x first, then y. So my y is 0 equals to -2. The x is 5. So where there was x, I put 5, then plus c. Then 0 equals to -10 plus c. Then you take -10 that side, it becomes +10 equals to c. Therefore, you can see that, okay, your h of x, right, is basically -2x and then plus 10. Then you found the equation of h of x. So that makes sense? Perfect. Now let's do with this interpretation questions. Perfect. They need the values of x for which k of x is less than 0. They need less than 0. So guys, I want you to be able to convert the inequality to words. You must understand what it means first before you can even answer the question. So here, basically, k of x, remember, is the parabola, right? Parabola. They say less than 0. Less than 0 just means below x axis. It means negative. So you're looking for where the parabola is negative. And in words, it just means give us the x values where the parabola is below the x-axis. I'm going to highlight where the parabola is below the x-axis. Let's choose a different color. Okay, I can see that, okay, the parabola is negative here, going there basically, right? As the x goes there, remember? So it's from this point here, going there. And also from here and there, you see. So those are my two solutions. And I know that for this side, I'm going there. And then for this side, I'm going there, right? Perfect. So as the x values go there, the parabola will keep on going down, you see? As the x values go there, the parabola is keep on going down. Perfect. And then with that, we already have the solution. We know that the x value here is -2. So I know that, okay, my first answer is going to be x, and then there'll be a -2 included. But I don't know, we'll discuss the sign that we're going to put here. Ne? Then I know that, okay, the second solution will be x, which will go with 5. Right. Perfect. Now, the inequality sign that goes, firstly, you check here. It doesn't have a line at the bottom. So whatever you're going to put here won't have a line like this. Ne? It'll just be either greater than or less than. Sharp. So you ask yourself a question. From here, where am I going? I'm going to the left. It means I'm decreasing. So x is less. It's getting less. So x is less than -2. Then here I'm going to the right. To the right, it means I'm going up. So the x value must be getting bigger here. So the x is bigger than 5. And then you have answered that question. As simple as that. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to raise the green so that we can do more analysis. Okay, can do more analysis. Now they're saying, okay, k of x is bigger than h of x. Okay, I'm going to write again, what does this mean? K of x is bigger than h of x. Okay, so they say k of x is above. Bigger than means above, ne? Above h of x. This means above. So they mean parabola. We're looking for a parabola is above straight line. So in words, you are looking for where the parabola is above the straight line. Okay, so I'm going to highlight where the parabola is above the straight line. It's from this point. This is above. It's above, it's above, it's above, it's above, up until there. You see? Perfect. So basically, it's going to be from 0, x0 to x5. You see? That is where the parabola is above. Because if you check here, this one now is above. The straight line from here, it's above. This one is below. So this part is out, basically. And then here, this one is above, above, above. But from here, you can see that they switch again. The straight line is above now. The parabola is below. So this part here, it's out. And also this part here, it's out. You see? Perfect. So our solution is going to be, let's see. Let's make our solution now. Our solution is going to be from 0. I know that, okay, there's 0. And then in this case, it doesn't go separate ways. It goes in one direction. You see, so we're only going to have one x value. And then we have a 5 with this side, right? Because it's from 0 and then to 5. Remember the question wants x values, ne? X values. Sharp. So we're interested in the x values on those points. But we're moving from the left to the right. So it means 0 will be the smallest. So 0 is smaller, and then 5 will be the highest, right? And then you check, you had this small symbol here, of which you still need to include there. And then that's your answer for E. Okay? And then the last question is this. They want us to find the length of DF. Okay? That should be easy because we have the equation. Okay, I'm going to just erase this whole part here. I'm going to erase this whole part here so that I can have space to write. Okay, so this can go. We no longer need it. So now, ladies and gents, they want us to find the length from here to there, right? it means I need to minus the y value. So I need to take this y value and minus by that one. But the only issue I have now is I don't know this y value, right? But the exciting thing is I know the x value there, and I know the graph where the point lies. So I know that, okay, f of x lies on h of x, which is minus 2x plus 10, right? And then I can input, because I know the x value, I know that, okay, the x is basically 3 over 2, which is minus 3. I mean, minus 2, then input 3 over 2 plus 10. You can see that this will cancel that. I have negative 3 plus 10, which is 7, right? So the y value here will be 7, basically. Perfect. Therefore, we can easily get the length of DE is the highest y value minus by the lowest y value. Then let's see. We have 49 over 4. Sorry, we have 49 over 4 minus 7. And that gives us 21 over 4. And that's finito about this video, ladies and gents. If you really found this helpful, please keep on watching more, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share with family and friends, and advise them to share with family and friends too. Thank you very much, ladies and gents. A luta continua. Tranquilo.